Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany. On this channel, we talk about deconstructing from toxic religion. We also shine a light on problematic Christian influencers, especially if they are exploiting their children on social media. Around here, we are snarky with substance, meaning we will make fun of you, we will poke fun, but it's all because there's an underlying deeper reason as to why we're doing it, and in my opinion, it's because you're incredibly problematic and you deserve all the shame, all the making fun of. Okay, today we are finally talking about Sam and Nia, and they are, in my opinion, by far just the, other than the LeBrants, just the worst of the worst when it comes to Christian influencers. So let's get into it. So I'm going to pretend that nobody knows who Sam and Nia are, okay? And what I did is put into ChatGPT. The coolest thing about ChatGPT is the fact that I don't have to do like background like research on some of these influencers. I can just like put into ChatGPT like what are their controversies, like give me the backstory to them, and then it just like loads with information. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm gonna read from is ChatGPT. I asked to give me the backstory of Sam and Nia, how they began on YouTube, and most importantly, their controversies. And this is what it says. Sam and Nia Rader, I think their last name is, a Christian vlogging couple from Texas, have faced several controversies throughout their YouTube career. They gained initial fame in 2014 with a viral lip sync video to Disney's Love is an Open Door. However, their subsequent content and personal relations to have attracted significant public scrutiny. Controversial pregnancy announcement and miscarriage claims. In August 2015, Sam surprised Nia with the news of her own pregnancy by testing urine she had left in the toilet, a method that sparked debates about privacy and consent. Just 3 days later, they announced a miscarriage. The rapid sequence of events led to widespread skepticism, with some accusing the couple of fabricating the miscarriage for views. Medical professionals also questioned the validity of the initial pregnancy test method, noting that testing urine from a toilet bowl is unreliable. Despite the backlash, Sam and Nia maintain that their experience was genuine and part of God's plan, which they did. He did a full video of this. We're not going to watch it. I watched it on someone else's channel. It was quite a long time ago, but they did a reaction to it because it was just disgusting. Like, Nia went to the bathroom. He filmed, like, after she didn't, like, flush the toilet, and then he took the pregnancy test, and he was gonna, like, he said that he was gonna do some other joke, but then it, like, turned into she was pregnant. It was so gross, and it was a video. Two, and this is mostly what we're going to be talking about today, the Ashley Madison scandal. Shortly after the miscarriage announcement, Sam was implicated in a 2015 Ashley Madison data breach. So, if you are not aware, Ashley Madison is still up and running, is a website that you essentially are able to cheat on your spouse. So, in the early-ish 2000s, I'm pretty sure that's when it began, you can log on to there, have a complete profile, and you can either cheat on your spouse by talking to other women or meet up with these women and cheat on your spouse. So their whole logo is cheating on your spouse. But the biggest thing that Ashley Madison had was their privacy. So in 2015, there was a hacker who got into Ashley Madison's database and completely leaked thousands of names and email addresses to the people who were were within Ashley Madison, and Sam was one of them. So Sam was implicated in the 2015 Ashley Madison data breach, which exposed users of a website facilitating extramarital affairs. Initially, Sam admitted to creating an account, but claimed he never engaged in any affairs. However, in the 2024 Netflix documentary, Ashley Madison, Sex, Lies, and Scandal, he confessed to infidelity throughout his marriage, including visits to massage parlors and strip clubs, as well as emotional affairs with acquaintances. It's so bad. Nia chose to stay in the marriage, and the couple publicly addressed the scandal, expressing that they had moved past it and found personal growth through the experience. Okay, so this is how it went. So Sam and Nia were actually going to a YouTube conference, and they were on the way there when Sam, I don't remember how he found out that there was a data breach and that his information was out there, but he found out that it was. So at this conference, or they were like eating before the conference, when they traveled, he told Nia, like, hey, I really need to tell you something. And this is before that they would meet like their subscribers. Like, I really need to tell you something. There's this website called Ashley Madison. You'll be informed that my information was on there, but the only thing I did was create like a login, like create a profile, but I felt so bad, like I didn't go along with it. And so, because I watched the documentary, and she had said that she was really shaken up, but she asked several times after that, like, hey, are you sure? Like, did you actually cheat on me? He was like, no, I promise I did not. So she decided in that moment to move past it, and then they did the vlogging convention, which here, the next controversial thing was a physical altercation at vlogging convention. In 2025, Sam was ejected from a vlogging convention in Seattle after a physical altercation with another Christian vlogger. He later admitted to the incident, but denied making any threats. This even further fueled criticism of the couple's public persona. Okay, so after the convention, in the documentary, they were explaining that they were sitting in the car. I think they were going home. I don't remember for sure, but it was after, right? So there were so many people at the convention that were getting the updates, like Sam's information was Ashley Madison, and so they were getting a lot of, they said, like weird looks and whatever. So they were together after, and he received a phone call from his brother, essentially saying, you need to tell Nia absolutely everything. Nia in the vehicle was like, hey, what is he talking about? Like, what's going on? And so from there, he finally told her, I'm not sure if he told her absolutely everything, but he told her that he had been cheating on her through Ashley Madison, but he never like hooked up with anybody. It was all through like chatting, right? Like texting, like sexting, and then phone calls, but he said he never met up with anybody. But I'm not sure if she found out through this conversation, but later on, it come to find out that he has been cheating on Nia through the extent of their relationship, not only through texting through Ashley Madison, but some of which were acquaintances to Nia and Sam, like as a couple, and just Nia, but he had been cheating on her through the extent of their relationship. This whole entire time, you have to remember, this whole entire time, they are making Christian content. Like, they are still family vlogging. They are still talking about the goodness of God. They are still really honing in on them being a Christian couple. Okay. So they did the Netflix documentary, and this is like three kids. I think they have 4 children. So this is 2 or 3 kids in that comes about that he is not just a one-off and that he, terrible sense of judgment, but he had been literally like has numerous other partners within the marriage with Nia. Like, every even biblical standing right to leave this man, but she never does. So it's a really disgusting situation, and they did the Netflix documentary, and then of course they switched their content not just to family vlogging, but to, we're in a Netflix documentary, and you know what our thoughts are on that. And they had also filmed a lot of interviews with different like news stations, and of course I mean, Nia, well, they wrote a book, so every single time that they have an interview, they pop that book up there, and it's just absolutely obnoxious. And then before the documentary, Sam, he posted a like a sorry video, like like an influencer apology video, but it was super disingenuous. It was blaming Satan, and not really coming out with real apologies, right? So that is the backstory on them. What we're gonna watch today is a video that they did. It was about the Ashley Madison videos. It's called "Did Netflix docuseries Make Us Millionaires?" But before we start that, I'm gonna show you just how disgusting this, in my opinion, these family vloggers are. The way that they exploit their children is absolutely disgusting. Okay, so we can go to the most popular videos, and they've been filming for a good while now. So their most popular video has 62 million, and a dad turns pool into an emoji. It's so stupid. But we go down here, birth vlog. The baby has just come out of the mother, and they're filming everything. So this right here, good looking parents seeing Disney Frozen. This is what really made them social media famous, and this is 24 million views. That's what really started their channel, just like them rolling with views. So we're just gonna keep going, and of course it's all about the kids. Symphony, oh my god, fourth birthday party. Rubber duckies have taken over entire home. It's so gross. And then the baby's face right there. This is so gross. Baby versus puppy. Did they block out the baby's butt in this? Yeah, but you can still see the crack. And 5.3 million views on that, of course. And then babies dancing. It's just babies all over. It's just so gross. Family vloggers who say that they're Christians are so disgusting. So it's still all about the kids, but we're gonna keep scrolling to see the Ashley Madison thing. So our lives will never be the same. We're coming to Netflix. Of course, they are trying to monetize this awful story. Like, it's so sad. In preparing to share our darkest moments with the world, like I said previously, if it was a one-off and clouded judgment and he came to you, like, I truly do not think this man would have said anything if there wasn't a data breach. If there, like, he is so disgusting, in my opinion. So we're gonna watch this. Did Netflix docuseries make us millionaires? Here we go.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to behind the scenes of our Netflix documentary. Nia and I just got over a little argument, so we're trying to get back in the group here.
Oh, we're like very happy. Well, you're really frustrating me. Are you going to be this way the whole video? I can't talk when you're making me feel like this. No, but you keep saying go and you're sitting there going like this. Like, what do you want me to do? Yeah, but, look at you. Are you ready?
So I guess we should just start by saying, why did we do this documentary? So the beginning of our book, we have a prologue called Netflix. So what made you agree to do this interview? Asked Toby, the director, perched on a stool in my garage, 2 cameras capturing every detail of my expressions. Oh, I knew this day was coming, I said.
Years before this email, I had made a promise to myself if I were to ever speak publicly about the leaked AM account again, I would address the lies I told in my initial response and provide a fuller picture of my brokenness, Nia's forgiveness, and God's redemptive work in our marriage.
So I kind of saw this moment coming. We got approached by
Hulu.
We couldn't come to an agreement, so we
couldn't come to agreement because my thought is they didn't want to give him as much money as they figured that they were owed of their story. Because that's what happens, right? If you have like a tragedy or whatever, and Netflix or any other streaming thing comes to you, they're wanting to pay you for your story. You're not doing it for, well, I mean, maybe some people do it for, I don't know. 9 times out of 10, you are getting paid to cover your story. So they are getting paid to tell of his infidelity and multiple infidelity that their children are going to watch. Their children are going to have to reap like their terrible behavior. And I say their now because the mom is also in on exploiting the children on social media and exploiting this story. It is so sad.
That one, and this one just worked out. We said yes, and here we are, completely just putting it all out there. So yeah, this is behind the scenes.
Yeah, this is the week we spent filming with the film crew. It was honestly like one of the best weeks. I will always treasure these memories. We had such a great time, and it's so wonderful to be.
You're always gonna treasure the memories of telling the world that your husband had sex multiple times while y'all were married. If anything, I would imagine that this time, like with Netflix or whatever streaming, would be even, that could possibly even be traumatizing as well, because you're having to retell the whole entire story. Like, how in the world is it the best time in the world to cherish the moment of explaining to millions of people that your husband's name was associated with Ashley Madison and he had sex with your friends while you didn't know? That's fun. That's cherishable moments. It's freaking weird.
So far removed from the stuff we're talking about so that we could actually enjoy and be really present and share the story to the very best of our ability in its fullness. We filmed for like over 20 hours total.
And you'll see in this behind the scenes footage that Nia didn't want me to say a specific thing in the documentary, and of all the things I said through all those interviews, it made it in the final cut. You guys are going to believe what line it is.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't put myself back in that day where I was saying, I hope that doesn't make it in.
Said it twice. And then
this is a thing too, and they're kind of talking about it now. You are not just paid for it, but you're going to have some perimeters of like what you want to say, what you shouldn't say, what I want to get out. So documentaries are extremely biased to whoever is getting paid to do it or whoever story is being told. Just like the what was it? The Sherry Frankie documentary, but it was coming from the husband's point of view. Like, it was his and his son's point of view, not anybody else. I'm not saying like it was wrong or whatever, but I'm saying it's going to be really more biased to what they have experienced. So it's their story, which means they, like Hulu, they might have said, we want this in, we don't want this in, but Hulu's like, no, like, we want to tell the whole entire story. I don't know exactly what, but I'm just giving an example. They could have said, no, like, we're going to ask the questions. This is what's going to be, like, the outlay of it. And they're like, no, we don't want to do that. So it's not only they're getting paid for it, but what is in the documentary is going to be the things that, like they want out. Like, if that's making sense. Like, they're not going to say something that they do not want in the document. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just the money, but it's the information.
So I was certain that a specific thing that Nia bought that was kind of expensive would not make the documentary, and sure enough, that made it too.
What? I don't remember.
You don't?
What is it? Tell me in my ear. Oh, yeah.
They actually made the cut. I thought that was hilarious.
I love it. Of all the things that we've done together since we started doing YouTube, like we've done stuff with Disney, we've gone to Universal Studios, like, and now we've worked with Netflix and
in
just
our home,
the coolest
telling our
crew.
deepest story.
That shouldn't be a flex, ma'am. Like, the only reason y'all are working with Netflix is because your husband's transgressions, your husband's sins, your husband's embarrassment to your family. That's not a flex that you should have. And we've not worked with Netflix. Yeah, because your husband can't keep his dick in his pants. Around your friends even. That's not cool.
Deepest, thoughts.
Yeah, just so many memories, and I'm very thankful that we had this opportunity, even if it hasn't gone,
completely according to plan.
Yeah, picture perfect, but
now we put so much in the book, like lots of details. My mom just got to reading it. She said she cried off and on the whole time, and she read it within a day.
I know, that's shocking.
I didn't know
to
my
me.
mom could read that fast. She doesn't read. She usually listens to books, and she actually read it within a day. And she's just been sending us all these text messages about it. But we put so much in the book because we thought so much more would end up in the documentary. And so afterwards, we're like, Nia especially was like, should we go back and take some of the stuff out of the book? Because, like, it's not on Netflix?
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's not absolutely necessary. We just included it because we wanted to be completely vulnerable.
Yeah, and if they were going to put it in Netflix, like him saying a detail, we wanted to be the ones to straighten out what was the detail. You know what I mean? That's how I felt
exactly,
anyways.
yeah.
I wanted to be able to, but they didn't put a ton of details in the documentary, some little ones, but.
And we posted the book right as the documentary came out, before we even saw it. So that was kind of important. Like, we didn't go back and we didn't write the book based on what we saw in the doc. So there's a couple things that are slightly different, like the text message.
And here's the thing too, like, I've noticed that in some of their videos they talk about the details that were not in documentary, of which they also don't talk about. So it's just like another reason to buy their book. And it's like, dude, yeah, y'all just really effed up. Not just this, but like your poor kids, dude.
My brother.
Oh yeah.
And how much of an impact that was for me.
And they asked me to like spell out the whole day. And so that moment where we're sitting down right after we got kicked out of Vlogger Fair and those texts were coming in, and I told them the whole thing, that like, you saw it, you were getting frustrated. I was like, what the heck is this? And they just kind of took that one line as if it was what impacted me the most, but really it impacted him more than anything. But I was aware of it.
It was a accumulation of events during that period that had me extremely on edge. And the fact that I had to lie to Nia again about not having ever met with anyone.
I had to lie to Nia. The fact that I had to lie to her. No. You didn't have to do anything. You chose to do. These are a big word, and you can barely say accumulation of really, really bad choices. Now it's coming to bite you in the butt. You will reap what you sow. Whether you believe biblically or you believe in karma, whatever. At the end of the day, it's the same damn thing. Karma, you will reap what you sow. Like, serves you right. You didn't have to do that, but all of this coming to bite you all in the butt, you deserve it.
And then Michael called me out for lying in the Forgiven video.
Everybody wants to know what brother was it, because I said one of I said one of the brothers.
Oh, Michael did. Michael texted the family.
He did, and he didn't say you need to be fully honest. He said, bro.
Why are you still lying? Yeah, and he was like, what is he talking about? I said, he's talking about me saying that you were already aware of the account. Mm-hmm. And so I lied about that.
I think that's when it started to get really real for you, because you had to keep weaving that web of lies, and you weren't expecting that.
I was just getting really anxious, and I pulled over, and all the details are in the book. It gets pretty crazy.
It gets pretty cray-cray.
I'm so glad we have this book out there for our family in the future. Yeah. So our kids have the complete story, because a lot of people are saying poor kids, and
I know
the full story.
Can I share something? Sorry.
Yeah, you can share whatever you want, Mama.
So the other day I was talking to Symphony about it, and she, she's older. She sees stuff that the other kids don't see, and she's got friends that are all on social media and stuff. And I asked her, I said, well, how do you feel about the fact that a lot of people are going to say, I should have divorced daddy? Like, how does that make you feel? If you see that people are saying, most women would leave their husbands, the world sees it that way. She was like, just so serious, and the most serious
oh my god, she's gonna say so when she says the world sees it that way, what she means is everybody who is not a Christian. She is meaning the secular world sees it that way. Not just the secular world, but a lot of Christian women would have been done. Would have been completely done. Again, it wasn't just a one-off. He had been cheating for years. He didn't just have like one relationship on the side, which I don't want to demean, because that's awful. Like, also don't do that. That's cheating. But he just didn't have that. He had Ashley Madison, several women he was talking to. He had the massage parlors that he'd go to. He had the many acquaintances that they knew that he had multiple women that he was fooling around with. And I will be the one to say poor kids, because that is it's so embarrassing. Absolutely. I really am curious to know, because of course he thinks that the data breach with Ashley Madison was like a swift kick in the butt for him to start telling the truth, even though he didn't start telling the truth. His brother had to be like, hey man, like, you need to come clean. Come on. Which, good for that brother. Like, he's probably a Christian. He's a godly man, right? So, he was saying that was the time, God was like, hey, like, now you have to tell your family. But my question is, I wonder, because obviously they're saying that God saved him, like he has redemptive value, all of those things, but what did he do after? Because those feelings, that want to, because obviously he's a compulsive liar, like those feelings of wanting to cheat and compulsively lie and all those things, like, they just don't go away. So what active, what did they do? What did he do to help those feelings? Like, did they seek Christian counseling? Or did he actually go to a therapy, or like a therapist? Or like, what happened? What were the practical steps after to get them into the best relationship they've ever had now? Like, what did they do?
She was like, I am so glad you didn't. I can't imagine a life without our dad. I can't even imagine he did those things.
But I think the question is, all the details of what I did are out there.
I mean,
how does she feel? How does she feel about that, and how is she going to feel about that?
Yeah,
we won't know. But here's the thing:
her little brain can't comprehend it yet. I think she is like freshly a teenager now, so she probably, like, she doesn't understand. Like, she will not understand. The kids will not understand until they are adults and understand what sex really is and what cheating is and all those different things. Like, they won't understand, and once they do, it's gonna taint their view on their dad.
Our life, the way God called us to, I feel like we're just stepping into obedience. Mm-hmm. God keeps telling us to reveal how he redeemed us, to look back, to make sure we never go back to that. And yeah, we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Yep. For me, it's like, how could I go...
Okay, these types of Christians drive me nuts. Where they can, kind of like a Brittany Dawn, where they can make several choices, and all of these choices are negative or bad choices, but when it actually comes time to reap what you have sown, they blame it just on Satan, right? And they say, oh, I was just super tempted, and like my heart wasn't right with the Lord, so I did those things. And they don't ever own it up to, no, I made those decisions and they were bad ones. So and then they use the goodness and the redemptiveness and grace of God for their own good, and say, God, did redeem me. He did have grace on that situation, when in all reality, you could have said no the whole time. You could have said no and made better choices the whole time, but you did not. You did not, because you are a weak man who doesn't know the Lord, in my opinion, and who is not actually changed by knowing the Lord. And them continuing to be family vloggers at that, it's all exploitation, in my opinion. And then of course they're going to use this story as like well, if it hadn't been for this, we wouldn't have such a strong testimony to to tell people. We would not have such a like a good story of redemptive value to help turn people towards Jesus. Like, I feel like that is the biggest just BS, because it's not true. You have free will. You can make good and bad decisions. These were all bad ones. Own it and move on.
This, and God healed so much, the way that he healed it, the way that he spoke. How could I go through all of that and not share about it? It's just so huge. It was such a huge thing that happened for me on like a spiritual level.
Both of us at the exact same time.
Yes, and it was kind of separate. It's not like we came together and started healing. Like, yes, there was some togetherness, but there was so much separation still within our own home. You didn't even sleep in our room for a while. Like,
I didn't sleep in the house for a while.
Yeah, didn't sleep in the house for a while, stayed out of the bedroom for a while. And like there was a lot of separation while I was healing separately and he was healing separately.
In completely different ways.
Yes, totally. And I don't know, like, do you think the book kind of shows that? The separate ways?
Yeah, that's what the book is about. It's about us basically removing each other from the pedestal, removing God's rightful position in our life. We had each other where God belonged.
A few people have said, like, it's not fair that Sam would keep getting forgiven for similar things. And I think what some people maybe don't realize is that, like, so could you. It's not forgiven by me. Jesus already paid the price for any sin we are going to commit. Like, who am I to hold that debt in my hand and say, I'm going to, whatever. If I feel forgiveness in my heart, some people out there maybe have never experienced real forgiveness for their own sins. And maybe you haven't even done things to the extent of what Sam did, but maybe you have a problem with lying, cussing, drinking, drugs. Like, you can also be forgiven again and again and again and again by someone bigger than us. It's not me forgiving him over and over again.
This is a perfect example of a lot of Christian women who stay in, because I was one of them, who stay in very unhealthy, toxic relationships while they're out making the bad decisions. But you are here with like the empathetic, sympathetic heart and forgiveness heart of like, okay, what would Jesus do in this situation? Jesus would forgive. Jesus, like, who am I? Like what she just said, who am I to hold this person's sin like above their head and not forgive them? Like, that's not my place. And that is such a dangerous, because especially young women who are with these just toxic Christian men who continuously make terrible decisions and make terrible choices. But the woman, I've been there, the woman thinks that because Jesus is a forgiving God, that you have to take on that role as, I don't want to say like take on the role as God, but like take on the role as the spiritual, godly wife to continuously forgive your husband. I'm not saying to not forgive, but there are even biblical standards to when you are able to divorce your husband, and one of those is infidelity. So it's so sad to me that, like, because again, I've been there. When I was super, super young, the boyfriend I had cheated on me numerous times, and my first thought was, what would God do in this situation? Like, how can I show him and others God by my actions, instead of, like, how can I shield and save myself from this toxic person and just emotional distress over and over and over and over again, right? Like, this man, like Sam, not only was cheating on his wife, but had lied several times to try to hide the terrible things that he has he chose to do. And it is not her, like, we are human, we are not God. It is not her responsibility to be a doormat and to continuously be lied to and keep going into that situation of, what would Jesus do in this moment? Yes, forgive. Let's move on. Let's forgive. Let's move on. Instead of saying, no, like, that you went too far. I might learn to forgive you, but I can't do it anymore. And that's why I think that's why it's so dangerous to have that mentality.
I've already been forgiven, and I have to make a choice each time, and it's not always easy, but.
And I think it's interesting that people, especially non-Christians mostly, keep pointing out, why do you keep forgiving, saying he doesn't deserve it? He doesn't deserve that. And you guys are basically recognizing that sin needs to be punished. And, like, if you read into that and and are completely honest with yourself, you're also sinning. Maybe not on a level I did, but you're also sinning, and it deserves punishment. All of it deserves punishment. And that's what Jesus came to do. He came to pay the price for those sins. Like, that's what you're confessing when you say that our sins need to be justified. Jesus justified us.
It's so good.
Even in the hate, I find truth and just more affirming my faith, as you should say.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. A lot of people are checking in to see how are the hate comments getting to you, and I'm like, I'm not really reading them very much. I'm doing a lot of blocking and deleting. Made it a sport almost. Sam was telling me, he's like, why don't you just stop now? I was like, oh no, now I'm kind of into it. But anyway, I just...
Right, they're gonna block and delete all of the haters, just like Paul and Morgan, the people who hate on them, which really are probably the people who are speaking truth, but they just don't want to hear it.
Like, the things that I have seen, especially the repetitive ones, it reaffirms the things that I believe, and the things that I believed back then when we were working through it, at a time when I was very, like, unsure of myself. I really had to put my faith in the Lord and really, really put my trust, it was a scary, vulnerable thing to begin putting your trust in someone who really broke your trust. And so for me to look back and say, like, I still feel all those same things today, it's just really cool. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but it's very cool to know that I don't see some of these things and think, yeah, they're right, you scumbag, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we make jokes and stuff, like.
Yeah, we kind of see the opposite.
Yeah,
the deeper we get into our redemptive story, we see how worth celebrating it is.
It is.
So here's one, guys. I've watched your channel for a long time, and I'm sad you're going to monopolize on this. They mean monetize. So what do you have to say, babe, for all the people out there saying we're monetizing on our story? Here's what I have to say. It took us 2 years. Sorry. It took us 2 years to write this book.
More than that.
And we didn't get rich from this documentary like some people think. We were paid a fee to use the footage in our vlogs. But documentaries don't pay.
Yeah.
And definitely not life-changing money, that's for sure. Us monetizing on our book, we really have to. It took us
life-changing money to somebody who has 2.51 million subscribers. Life-changing money to social media influencers and us regular people, or us poors, just kidding, are completely different. Completely different.
We have some debt right now because we put aside, we didn't, as you guys saw for the past 2 years, we've only posted once or twice a week. We have to pay for it. We have to pay for the book. So, I mean, I feel like that's fair.
Oh, please, you don't even have to explain that. People sell their book. Which book are you getting for free?
Seriously.
Any book. The Bible even. You know, I don't even...
They're not just talking about the book. I'm pretty sure this person is talking about the many YouTube videos of y'all talking about this situation. Netflix, using Netflix in the title, because obviously they're gonna, you know, it's clickbait, you want to watch it. And not just the book, but the YouTube videos, the YouTube videos of different interviews that you've had with news things. Like, I'm almost certain they're not just talking about the book.
It's worth responding to, because, like, literally you have to pay for books. Like,
so we're not monetizing on our testimony.
No, we're not. And you know what? Even if we are, like, we were...
No. You 100% are. Y'all's testimony is on YouTube, and you're monetizing your channel. You're monetizing those videos. You are monetizing this traumatic event. I mean, it's y'all's event, so whatever, do what you want. But still, like, you're monetizing it. Yes, you are.
And we took a huge break from the things that do bring money in for us, like such as full-time YouTube creators, other things. We've turned down other opportunities. I stepped away from doing anything creative on the side and completely just poured into making time for writing this book for Sam and, you know, watching our children, all these things. And I just want to say, like, it's okay to earn money.
It's going to a good cause when you buy our book, all right? It's going to a good cause.
Yeah, our bills.
I mean, we're being a steward with what God gave us. It's like we're not just going to hand everything out for free.
Yeah, and to those who think we made millions off of Netflix, we did not. It was doled out over the course of 2 years, and literally it only afforded us a little bit of extra time to finish the book. Not even start and do the middle. It was really just completing the book. It really afforded us a little bit of extra time.
I do wish I asked for more.
And it was
especially
hard.
After going to #1. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy.
But that okay, sure, you might have gotten like this lump sum from Netflix, but the amount of screen time, I guess, or the amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all got even more views after that Netflix documentary, like, because it's not just the Netflix documentary, it's what happened to y'all's social media even after. What happened to the book afterwards? What happened to, you know, people reaching out, like Christian YouTubers or podcast hosts who asked for an interview with y'all after. It's not just the Netflix documentary. It's what comes after as well.
Behind the scenes.
Yep.
And thank you for all the support out there for the people who are understanding.
And I hate that they're, when you do that, it's going to a good cause. Going to a good, like, our bills. Like, I do not want to financially support somebody, number one, who does this, but who are still family vlogging. Who are still putting their children in harm's way by continuously putting them on social media. Shame on y'all. Y'all should not get any more views. You should. I hope the book, like, splats. Like there needs to be some, like, repercussion, not of just him, but of them being family vloggers. I'm gonna cut it there because that's the end of that video. All right, y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. I will keep an eye out on more Sam and Nia stuff. I truly cannot. I can't stand them. I can't. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I appreciate y'all so very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.